Welcome back. President Trump's border crackdown leading to a massive decline in known illegal migrant gotaways. A Department of Homeland Security source revealing that the daily average of gotaways is now 132 a day, compared to more than 1,800 a day in fiscal year 2023 under the Biden administration. ICE also announcing the arrest of several illegal alien gang members in Texas and one charged with sex crimes in Maryland. Border czar Tom Homan told me yesterday southern border crossings are down better than 90% since Trump took office. But his deportation efforts are facing internal resistance after a memo about ICE crackdowns in Los Angeles was leaked and allowed gang members to get away.
We think we found the source of the leak. It's under investigation right now by DHS. There's some information that tends to show that the second leak in the California operation may have been someone in the FBI. So when we find these people and we have the evidence to support a prosecution, that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't care what their political beliefs are. This isn't about politics. This is about the safety of our officers. It's only a matter of time if these leaks continue that our officers are going to walk into a place and be ambushed by someone who just don't care about life and are going to take these ICE officers on. Giving the bad guys a head up, we're coming, is going to just make the job much more dangerous. It's under criminal investigation. Those who are responsible will be held criminally responsible, and we'll prosecute them.
Joining me now is Ohio Congressman and the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan. Mr. Chairman, thanks very much for being here.
Good to be with you, Maria.
What are the ramifications for somebody within the FBI who may have leaked that ICE memo detailing what their operations were and allowing those Tren de Aragua gang members to actually get away?
No, if you're interfering with legitimate law enforcement activity where they are going out and sending criminals back, repatriating criminals, you're interfering with that operation, that should be prosecuted. I think Tom Homan is exactly right. And my guess is Pam Bondi and soon to be Todd Blanche running our Justice Department will look into this. And if it happened, they will prosecute the individual who's tipping off the bad guys about the good guys coming to take them back, send them back to their country. So, yeah, this is as wrong as it gets. And I think Tom Homan and he spelled it out because you're jeopardizing the safety of law enforcement officials by leaking that information to the bad guys.
You know, I don't understand how your colleagues on the left can defend any of this, really. I mean, everything that President Trump and you and your colleagues are doing seemed to me to be such common sense. A House Judiciary Subcommittee had a hearing on reining in the administrative state yesterday. One of the witnesses went after Democrat Congressman Jamie Raskin for focusing on Elon Musk instead of focusing at the topic on the topic of hand. Watch this.
Right.
Mr. Raskin, your words earlier really worried me, and I will tell you why. When you say we are here and we should be here to talk about Mr. Elon Musk and all the unconstitutional things that he's doing, and you said we shouldn't be here to talk about regulation or anything like that, because where I come from, the overregulation causes us to be where we are. My continent, Africa, is the poorest region in the world today because it happens to be the most overregulated region in the world. So if you don't see the value of overregulation, if you need and want to wait until this country becomes like most African countries, I don't know. I love this country and I don't want to see it go down there.
Wow. Mr. Chairman, tell us more about that hearing yesterday.
Good. No, she was good, and you're right. She's right. The Democrats spend all their time attacking Elon Musk. I said, you know, instead of dealing with the stupid spending, they attacked the guy who exposed the stupid spending. I mean, that's literally what's going on. And what I think President Trump probably says it best, and you said it, Maria. We're now the party of common sense. They're the party of crazy. Remember when Sarah Huckabee Sanders gave her response to the State of the Union a couple years ago? She said the divide in America today is normal versus crazy. And it is true. It is crazy to defend the spending that Elon Musk and his team are exposing. Because it's stupid. You just went through the list last hour of all the, you know, a trans opera or trans comic in Ireland, Sesame Street in Iraq. I mean, Big Bird and Bert and Ernie in Baghdad is more important than stop it. I mean, this is crazy stuff. So they're the party who wants to defund the police. They're the party who wants to tip off the bad guys when the good guys are coming to deport them. They're the party who defends the USAID spending. That's crazy. And if they want to keep doing that, God bless them. But I think we'll keep winning elections like we did on November 5th.
But are Are you going to be able to get the access that you need? Is Elon Musk and President Trump going to be able to get the access that they need in order to continue this work? You know that they're trying to stop him from looking at the Treasury documents that he needs to see.
Yeah, you know why we will? Because, again, it's common sense. And the American people are like, what? Wait a minute. He's exposing all this, and you're going to stop him? Now, we're going to have to fight it out in court. I get that. But the one decision that we got about the Treasury Department, I mean, first of all, remember, there are over 108,000 official employees in the Treasury Department. They can have access to all this information, but the President of the United States, elected by 77 million people, makes Elon Musk a federal employee, and he can't, and the other political appointees at the Treasury Department can't. There's a question that maybe even the Secretary of the Treasury, according to this judge's decision, that Secretary Bessent may not even be able to get access.
Right.
That is crazy. That is just stupid. So we're going to have to fight this out in court. But in the end, I think we win because, again, we're on the side of common sense.
Yeah, well, look, President Trump needs his team on the ground. And your colleagues on the left have also been obstructing some of these committees' hearings. I don't understand how it's possible that you've got 53 Republicans and 47 Democrats, and yet the Democrats are running the table on these confirmation hearings. The Senate Judiciary Committee set to vote on Kash Patel's nomination for FBI director today, but a group of more than 680,000 law enforcement personnel have sent a letter urging senators to confirm Patel as quickly as possible. Democrat Senator Dick Durbin claims he's now learned Patel has been secretly overseeing the removal of several FBI personnel. Patel's team said this is secondhand gossip. Mr. Chairman, what can you tell us about Kash Patel?
Kash Patel is the reason we knew that the Trump-Russia, that whole investigation Adam Schiff and the Democrats did, he's the guy that put it all together and why we know that that was baloney. Remember, Kash is the one with the memo that Devin put together. Devin Nunes, then chairman of the Intel Committee here in the House, put the memo together that told us that it was the Clinton campaign who hired the law firm Perkins Coie, who hired Fusion GPS, who hired a foreigner, Christopher Steele, who put together a fake false document called the dossier. Then the Comey FBI took that false document to the secret court, the FISA court, to get warrants to spy on President Trump's campaign. And but for Kash Patel, we don't learn that. And that's what launched this whole investigation that we've been doing for years now and figuring out how political our Justice Department had become, particularly under Biden and Merrick Garland when he was Attorney General, and all the political things they did to President Trump and to all kinds of people across the country. So it started with Kash. That is exactly the kind of guy we need running the FBI.
Well, I know that. And I spoke with him back then, and Devin Nunes. And,
Sure did.
you know, I mean, from everything you just described, it sounds to me like Hillary Clinton colluded with the Russians to stop her opponent. I mean, it actually sounds to me like she charged Trump with exactly what she was actually doing. Kash Patel served as chief of staff in the Department of Defense. He was deputy assistant to President Trump. He was the chief of staff at the DOD after being deputy director of national intelligence in the intelligence community. He's got a long resume of intelligence and defense activity, and yet they're trying to come up with any reason to stop him because they know he knows what they did.
Yeah. But he's going to make it. I think he's going to get confirmed today. Todd Blanche, who's slated to be deputy attorney general in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to get confirmed. He's exactly the kind of guy we need helping Pam Bondi running the Justice Department. So I am very encouraged by the people who are now at Justice, who are going to apply the standard that's supposed to always apply in our country: equal treatment under the law. Not political prosecutions, equal treatment under the law. That's what they're going to do, and I can't wait for them to get there and really get moving.
Is there an issue with Howard Lutnick? How come we haven't seen him confirmed? And what are the prospects for Tulsi Gabbard?
No, I think Howard will be fine. I think Tulsi will be fine. Tulsi, we need Tulsi because Tulsi is right on FISA. Tulsi is the one who understands that the FISA court, I want to spy on the foreigners. We all do. We want to figure out what's going on there. But when it comes to Americans, we got to have the reforms in place that protect Americans' liberty, protect Americans' rights, protect Americans' privacy. And she understands that. We need her in that key position.
I mean, what should we be more worried about? Getting spied on by China or getting spied on by the U.S. government?
Well, when Democrats are in charge, it sure looks like they're looking into Americans, which is frightening. They were certainly trying to censor Americans, and we have a hearing on that today at 10 o'clock, where we're bringing back in some of the original guys, those journalists who were part of the Twitter files, which again, We need to thank Elon Musk for purchasing Twitter and showing us that big government was pressuring big tech to censor Americans, particularly conservative Americans. And thank goodness that's all changed.
Thanks for putting a spotlight on that. What were there, like 1,000 people in Biden's government and Biden's administration who were pressuring social media to cancel all of us?
Yeah, and you don't have to take my word for it. Mark Zuckerberg wrote us a letter.
That's right.
Mark Zuckerberg wrote us a letter, and he said, the Biden administration pressured us to censor. We did it. We're sorry. We won't do it again. And thank goodness for that. And they've changed their policy now where they fully embrace the First Amendment.
Mr. Chairman, thanks very much for being here. We so appreciate it.